Most domestic cats hit their full physical size in about 12 months, but the Maine Coon operates on a completely different biological timeline. It takes up to 5 full years of continuous skeletal and muscular expansion to build this animal into a 9-kilogram feline giant. Acquiring a Maine Coon requires the same financial strategy as a high-stakes market investment. On the U.S. market, a purebred kitten commands from $2,000 to over $8,500, driven by documented lineage and rare physical traits. Legitimate breeders operating under TICA or CFA registries mandate a rigid holding period, never releasing a kitten before 12 to 14 weeks of age. By skipping this critical developmental window and genetic screening, backyard sellers trade a lower entry price for a significantly higher probability of catastrophic health failure. That initial purchase price is the entry fee for an asset requiring an uncompromising understanding of feline science and a complete home redesign to survive. Owners must verify the genetic firewall. Breeders DNA test parents for 3 genomic flaws. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy thickens the heart wall, causing sudden cardiac death. Spinal muscular atrophy targets spinal neurons, causing rear paralysis. Finally, PKDef destroys red blood cells, triggering severe anemia and reducing lifespan. A clear genetic profile is the mandatory foundation. Without it, the entire 5-year physical construction of the giant is mathematically predisposed to failure. Once the genetic foundation is set, the animal enters a phase of extreme growth velocity. Maine Coons undergo 2 massive physical expansions occurring entirely within the first 50 weeks of life. At 1 month old, a male kitten weighs barely 0.8 of a kilogram. By month 12, the trajectory hits a staggering 9 kilograms. The female's blueprint follows a slightly more compact trajectory, scaling up to 6.5 kilograms in that same 12-month window. This rapid cellular and skeletal expansion creates a highly fragile biological window. Owners must actively stabilize this growth through diet to prevent the heavy frame from collapsing the joints before they fully harden. Powering this expansion requires the kitten to consume energy at 2 to 3 times the rate of a standard domestic cat, demanding up to 75 kilocalories per kilogram of body weight every day. The macronutrient ratio is precise. Animal protein must exceed 40% of the total intake, heavily fortified with taurine and calcium to support the sheer scale of the skeletal system. Managing this intake starts at week 4, with specialized milk replacers and soft pâté, moving to broth-soaked kibble to protect fragile deciduous teeth. By week 8, the jaw strength calibrates. The kitten can now efficiently process 100% dry kibble and real meat. Failing to maintain this rigid, multi-meal schedule during the first 6 months permanently halts bone development and removes any chance of the cat reaching its apex size. As the internal frame scales, the exterior begins a radical transformation. Newborn kittens start with eyes that appear entirely blue due to a complete lack of melanin in the iris. Permanent pigmentation engages between weeks 6 and 8. The iris shifts from cloudy blue to the striking gold or green typical of the breed. Next, the polygenic lynx tips and square muzzle emerge. These specific physical markers define the breed silhouette, separating it from the triangular-faced Norwegian forest cat. At month 6, the soft kitten fur sheds. In its place, the body constructs a double-layered, water-resistant coat designed to withstand extreme environments. This waterproof armor requires constant mechanical maintenance. Without the early introduction of metal combs and monthly bathing, the dense undercoat will succumb to severe matting and fungal dermatitis. The sheer mass of a juvenile Maine Coon makes standard pet supplies obsolete. Typical hardware fails under this weight and often becomes physically dangerous to the animal. Standard deep bowls cause whisker fatigue. Because the Maine Coon's facial structure is so broad, high walls crush the whiskers, triggering a severe neurological stress response every time the cat tries to eat. Standard cat furniture faces a similar structural threat. Safely absorbing the kinetic energy of a 9-kilogram predator requires steel core structures and heavy bases that won't topple during a leap. Owners must implement vertical territory to manage the cat's size. Wall-mounted shelves double the usable floor space, providing an elevated highway that accommodates the animal's need for movement. Successfully living with a Maine Coon requires re-engineering the physics of the home to accommodate the physics of the animal. Once established in their environment, these cats reveal a unique acoustic profile. They eschew normal meowing in favor of a biological trilling and chirping mechanism used for regular social signaling. This vocalization reflects their high sociability. Their active brains require constant engagement. If left alone for long hours, the Maine Coon's mental health will deteriorate into deep stress and lethargy. The monthly maintenance cost is significant. Between premium protein, heavy-duty clay litter, and essential pet insurance, owners should budget between $160 and $285 for operations. Owners must also commit to a daily routine of managing intense, year-round shedding from the double-layered coat. Managing this domestic apex predator requires a multi-year commitment to scientific care, rewarded by the unique loyalty and presence of a feline giant.